I think it was the best move that we could have made. I mean, honestly, change is always good, and I feel like this change will bring us into a better direction.
Coming up, after 7 seasons, the coach is out. And thousands of refugees are at the U.S. border. We'll talk to the UNC student who was there with them. Flying under the radar, the world's largest collection of waterfowl is right here in North Carolina. We'll take you on a tour.
From the UNC School of Media and Journalism, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us on Carolina Week. I'm Emily Wakeman.
And I'm Madison Forsey. Our top story today, Larry Fedora is out as UNC's head football coach.
That's right, the university announced Fedora would not be returning next year to lead the Tar Heels. We go now to our reporter Trisha Bonthu with more.
That's right. I'm standing in Kenan Stadium where Larry Fedora coached his last game here on Saturday when UNC lost against NC State in overtime. The next morning, Larry Fedora learned that he would no longer be coach. He ultimately coached 7 years at UNC and took the program to 4 straight bowl appearances. But as you can see, he had 2 straight 9-loss seasons and lost to in-state foes Duke and NC State in the last 3 seasons. We went around and asked UNC students about the university's decision, and a lot of them agreed that this was the right choice. Larry Fedora entered Carolina brimming with optimism in 2011. After the Tar Heels fell 34-28 on Saturday, however, he was much more subdued.
No, I'm not happy by any means.
UNC Athletics fired Fedora the next day, paying him the remaining $12 million of his contract, and started their search for a new head coach. Many UNC students say they believe this is the right time to move on.
Honestly, after freshman year, I'm actually really excited to see the direction the team goes now after Larry Fedora being gone, because I haven't been excited for a game since freshman year.
At this point, I think it wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when, just because the past 2 seasons have gone so poorly.
Some students, like Matt Holden, believe Fedora's firing may be too reactionary.
We had 2 great seasons before, which has not been the case for Carolina, and recruiting has been pretty good. I think these last 2 seasons has been a lot of injuries and suspensions are the story for me. And I still think he's done a great job, so I would not have fired him.
Others are more concerned about issues off the field, like Fedora's comments before the season questioning the link between CTE and football.
You know, I'm not sure that anything is proven that football itself causes it.
UNC has millions of dollars into research into CTEs on our campus, and to have a coach that doesn't even believe in them is pretty shocking, I thought.
I don't really know a lot or have a lot of opinions about him being fired, but I do think it was ridiculous that he was paid $12 million to be fired when there are other academic departments that aren't getting paid nearly that much in a year.
As Fedora walked off the field in Kenan Stadium, perhaps he and the handful of students at the game knew it was his final time. Fedora released a statement Sunday afternoon thanking the university and the players. He described the last 2 years as heartbreaking and challenging, but says it's been an honor to work for Carolina. In Kenan Stadium, I'm Trisha Bonthu, Carolina Week.
With Coach Fedora out, the athletics department announced that Mack Brown will be rehired as the head football coach. Sports correspondent Adam Jordan is in the studio to break down the hire. Adam?
Thanks, Madison. With a 5-year contract, Mack Brown's second tour with the Tar Heels is thought by many to only be a temporary stopgap to rebuild the program. But Brown, who's been retired from coaching since 2013, comes in with an impressive resume, amassing a .244 and .122 record with 69 of those victories coming at UNC. In fact, with 4 more wins, he'll surpass Dick Crum as the all-time winningest coach at Carolina. He is 13-8 all-time in bowl games, won a Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year award, was a BCS national champion with Texas in 2008, and starting later this year will be a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. In his previous time at UNC between 1988 and 1997, he guided the Tar Heels to 5 straight bowl games, had a 4-year streak ranked in the AP Top 25, and twice finished the season with the Heels ranked in the top 10. Even though this time around Brown's tenure at Carolina will be shorter, he's a great pick by many to rebuild a program shaken by 2 straight lackluster seasons. The new coach says those losing ways will change starting next year.
We're planning on winning next year, and for the seniors. You can't say we're going to rebuild. You can't say we're going to play all young guys. We want to win next year.
We can only hope Coach Brown's prediction comes true. Back to you.
Switching gears now, while many UNC students went home for Thanksgiving break, one student decided to travel to Mexico to get a first-hand look at this major international news story. Thousands of Central American migrants have been traveling toward the U.S.-Mexico border to flee poverty and violence in their home countries. The caravan reached the border last week, and Patsy Montesinos was there.
That's right, Patsy's joining us today to tell us a little bit about her trip. So Patsy, tell us, why did you decide to go to Mexico?
Yeah, so I decided to go because I'd seen out of the news a lot, and I'd seen bad and good sides to the people that were in the caravan, and I wanted to go there and find out the truth.
Well, it sounds like some great reporting you did there. Why don't we see a little bit of the video you took, and why don't you tell us what we're looking at?
So this is Tijuana, right over the border from San Diego. There are literally thousands of migrants who have built makeshift tents inside a sports complex. Many of them have been living this for more than a month. They have to stand in line for food that the Mexican government is providing them. Their hope is to seek asylum in the United States. I talked with many of the migrants, but one woman's story in particular was extremely emotional. She left her children in Guatemala, hoping to establish a better life in America and eventually reunite.
Sí, no les dije ni siquiera adiós. Me tocó ser el doblemente fuerte porque
Yeah, no, I didn't even say goodbye to them. I had to be even stronger because I left them thinking that their mom got a new job. And with time, she will come back, but they're going to be better off.
For now, the migrants have been giving shelter, but Tijuana's mayor say they're not able to provide for them any longer. So this is definitely a story we'll have to keep our eyes on.
Definitely. Thank you so much for coming in, Patsy.
Yeah, thanks so much. Switching gears a little bit now, just a few miles down the road at Duke University, authorities are investigating vandalism that some are calling hate speech. Students discovered flyers and stickers for a group called Identity Europa. The university is calling the group a neo-Nazi organization. But when Carolina Week reached out to the Identity Europa executive director, he told us that the group is not affiliated with neo-Nazis, but is a pro-white identity. These stickers are the latest in a series of vandalism incidents at Duke. Earlier this semester, students also found swastika and anti-Semitic flyers around campus.
Construction and renovation are common sights around UNC, and the university could soon be charging students to help with those expenses. The university is considering an additional $65 student fee to help pay for building repairs on campus. While some buildings like the Haynes Art Center have been recently renovated, university officials say they are close to $850 million worth of maintenance requests still open. This increase in student fees could potentially raise nearly $1.8 million each year. The proposed fee will need to be approved by the Board of Governors before it becomes official, and then if passed, be added to students' accounts in the spring.
UNC is rising in the rankings, this time for its study abroad programs. The Institute of International Education ranked UNC 17th in the nation for students earning credit for studying abroad. This is an improvement for Carolina, jumping up 2 spots compared to previous years. The list is based off of students from a number of colleges and universities who study abroad. While this is a new ranking, students have already seen all of the benefits of studying abroad.
I got to knock those classes out in a way that was like completely transformative for me and like really interesting because all my professors were from Spain.
Looking at national totals, the number of American students who studied abroad increased 3.8% from last year.
And coming up, it's one of the most popular dining spots for Carolina students, but how the owner made it here is a story of struggle and perseverance.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. At autismspeaks.org.
And campus looks absolutely gorgeous with all of the fall colors right now, but it's starting to feel a little bit too cold.
Yep, I agree. I really had to layer up for class this morning.
Absolutely.
But what can we expect for the rest of the week? Reporter Tess Bitzuli takes us outside and tells us more.
December is just around the corner, but these cold temperatures won't stick around for long. You can expect warmer weather by the end of the week, which I'm super excited for. Temperatures might even reach 70 degrees by Sunday. That's right, 70-degree weather in December. More on that in a bit. I'm currently standing outside on the quad. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining, but don't be fooled. It is and pretty windy. The current temperature is 41 degrees with a wind chill that makes it feel more like 34 degrees. Temperatures will drop below freezing later this evening. You can expect relatively clear skies, maybe some cloud coverage this evening, but that will clear up for tomorrow. Looking at the forecast for the rest of the week, temperatures will be much warmer and steadily increase throughout the rest of the week. So Thursday will be sunny with a high of 52 degrees, but after Thursday it will pretty much be rain in the forecast. On Friday it will be partly cloudy with temperatures in the 60s, and on Saturday and Sunday it will rain both days. Saturday you can expect a light drizzle in the afternoon, and on Sunday it will pretty much rain throughout the day. Sunday will be our warmest day of the week with a temperature high of 71 degrees. The Chapel Hill record high temperature for December 2nd is 75 degrees, so Sunday probably won't set a new record, but it is abnormally warm. The average temperature for that day is 57 degrees. So enjoy the warmer weather this weekend because it will probably be much colder starting next week.
And if you love Chick-fil-A, then you know how sad a Sunday can be when they're closed. But now on every other day of the week, eating Chick-fil-A just got a little bit easier. Chick-fil-A is officially offering delivery to more than 1,000 locations nationwide. Participating Chick-fil-A restaurants will deliver anything on the menu right to the customer's door via DoorDash, an on-demand destination service connecting people with their favorite businesses. And luckily, some of the participating Chick-fil-A's are right here in the Triangle area. This includes locations off of North Roxborough Street, Hillsborough Street, and Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard. Deliveries will be made to customers within a 10-mile radius of the restaurant.
Speaking of good food, Med Deli has been a crowd favorite on Franklin Street for many years, but you might not know the story of the man behind it all. Carolina Week reporter Mariam Mohammed sat down with him to find out.
Palestinian-American Jamil Kaddoura is the owner and founder of popular food chain Mediterranean Deli. He lived in a refugee camp under the Israeli occupation and came to America with just $35 in his pocket and a dream of a better life.
I was working part-time in hotels and restaurants, and I was washing dishes actually, and I fell in love with the business.
After coming to America and spending weeks without work, he was grateful to land his first job.
When I went home, I didn't sleep that night, looking forward to get a dishwasher job the next day.
He dreamed one day of opening his own restaurant that would serve healthy Mediterranean Eastern-style food.
When I left hotels, I tore up my resume. And my wife said, why would you do this? Because I'm not going back. Like, al-bahru amamakum wal-aduwwu khalfakum. I'm not going back to hotels. I'm going to make it.
He says Med Deli was created out of hard work and persistence.
I used to boil the chickpeas for the hummus in our bedroom apartment. I used to make the falafel in our apartment, fry it outside the door because it smokes when you fry the falafel. I bring it in before I open. I bring it in and I microwave it.
As he was trying to start his business, he realized being an immigrant still exposed him to some prejudice.
I walked in this restaurant and I said, can I have an application? And he said, I will never ever forget this. I would die remembering this. An older, really country man said, I don't have to give you a goddamn thing.
But that didn't stop Kaddoura. He says his heritage and culture have a lot to do with his success.
I'm very Middle Eastern, and I'm very one of those Middle Eastern that extremely proud of my heritage because I know it well, and I know what it offers.
Kaddoura says watching Med Deli expand was the most beautiful part of starting his business. Med Deli is now 28 years strong. In Chapel Hill, Maria Mohammed, Carolina Week.
And you probably already know this, Madison, but Med Deli on Franklin Street was so successful, they already opened another spot right at the bottom of Lenoir.
I know, that is one of my favorite places to grab lunch, absolutely. But coming up here, an analysis on women's soccer's run to the College Cup. And another year, another ACC Big Ten challenge for Carolina basketball. Carolina Week Sports after the break.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchool.com.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me.
You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Timothy Jones. Tar Heel fans, I know Mack Brown returning to the program is exciting, and I cannot wait to see the results. But I'm going to tell you what else is going on in the world of Carolina athletics. Now, head women's soccer coach Anson Dorrance is looking for his 23rd national championship. This will be Carolina's 28th trip to the College Cup, with the last title coming back in 2012. Our first thing to analyze, how did we get here? Carolina cruised through most of the tournament, starting with a 4-0 dismantling of Howard in the first round. Kansas was able to get in one goal, but were still schooled by the Heels 4-1 in the second round. Virginia Tech stopped the Heels from getting that fourth goal, but they couldn't score any of their own, and were beaten by Carolina 3-0 in the third round. But things got a little tricky in round 4 as the Heels had to battle UCLA in a 2-2 tie in regulation and overtime. But the Heels composed themselves and got it done in penalty kicks with a score of 4-2 and advanced to the College Cup. Here's a little about the Heels' next opponent. It will be Carolina versus the Georgetown Hoyas in the NCAA semifinals on Friday at Wake Met Soccer Park at 5 o'clock. The Hoyas haven't lost a game this season, and they are known for great defense, having only given up, get this, 9 goals in their last 2,300 minutes of play. The Tar Heels have balanced scoring, to say the least, however, with 17 different players having a goal on this team, none more than 6. Carolina also has 6 All-ACC selections, but 2 of them may stand out. Senior Julia Ashley leads the team in assists with 21, and sophomore Alicia Russo is the ACC Offensive Player of the Year, so you've got to like the Heels' chances even against a tough opponent. Next, the basketball team is in Michigan for the annual ACC Big Ten Challenge. It's a rematch of last year's game when the Tar Heels dispatched the Michigan Wolverines with relative ease in the Smith Center, led by forward Luke May. This time around, the teams are a little different, and Carolina faces a red-hot Michigan team within a huge road test. The now 7th ranked and still undefeated Wolverines are off to a good start in building off their run to the national title game last season, which includes an impressive road win against defending champion Villanova, led by guard Chris Matthews. The Heels took a 5-spot tumble down the rankings to number 11 after splitting 2 games in Las Vegas during Thanksgiving break. Better defense and fewer turnovers will need to be a priority for the Heels as they're averaging more than 13 per game. And freshman Kobe White showed out in Vegas with a sweet stroke and speed and transition. White scored 33 points in a loss to Texas and followed that up with 19 in a win against UCLA. White is the ACC Freshman of the Week, putting the rest of the conference on notice. Hey, I guess Duke isn't the only team with talented freshmen, right? Don't forget to tune in to ESPN tonight at 9:30 to see what the Heels have for us. Of course, we can't forget about the women's basketball team, which has a Big Ten challenge of their own Thursday night. Columbus, Ohio will be the scene as Carolina faces an Ohio State team stumbling out of the season blocks at 1-2 on the year. Senior guard Paris Keys has cooled off from her hot start of the year, down from 21 points per game to just under 15. Carolina center Janelle Bailey now leads the team with 16.9 points per game. The Heels are coming off a loss in the Paradise Jam, but are still off to a solid 5-2 start and looking to continue to get better as a team. Now, I don't know if the Big Ten Network is a thing in Chapel Hill, but if you happen to have it, the game is slated for 7 o'clock. That's it for sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Timothy. North Carolina is famous for many things, but did you know that it tops the list for a certain type of wildlife?
That's right. Our state to the largest collection of waterfowl in the world. Reporter Megan Kane has more from the town of Scotland Neck. Sorry for those technical difficulties, everyone, but those birds that you saw there for a brief second are definitely big business for the town of Scotland Neck. About 60,000 people visit the sanctuary each year, which is a lot of visitors for a town of less than 2,000 people. Pretty small.
I know. There's so many great things here in North Carolina.
I know. A ton of hidden gems. That's
I know.
awesome.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.